everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sopo and I'm filming another fashion video for you. Today we are talking about the Cartier Santos watch. Now, I decided to film this video a few months ago when I was myself searching for information about this watch from a female perspective and the experience. And I found none. There are tons of videos about Cartier Santos, but from those watch professionals, watch lovers, watch profis, the bubble where they are so passionate about the watches that they know every single detail about it, from movement to why it functions the way it functions, and it gets very intriguing, very interesting, but sometimes a little bit overwhelming for a fashion and jewelry lover like I am. There are tons of girls out there who are sporting this watch, and that's how I discovered it, to be very honest. I've seen them include this watch in their jewelry videos, but they elaborated a few sentences about it and that's it. There was never really a dedicated video that would give you like comprehensive overview about it. So I thought I'm gonna be the one who's gonna do that. But now I know why there are not such videos out there, because it's not easy to talk about the watch for an entire video long unless you are a professional and watch lover like those ones that I mentioned before. But I think I'm gonna try my best and give you another perspective on it anyway. I structured this video following way. First, we're gonna discuss a little bit of history because I find it super interesting, and there are new things as well which everyone can learn from. Second of all, the characteristics of this watch, from the model that I'm having to the latest reissue from 2018. And lastly, my personal opinions and experiences with regards to it. So let's get started. Did you know that the Cartier Santos watch is the first wristwatch designed with the intention of being a wristwatch from initial thought to the execution? In the late 90s and early 20s, there were tons of people who wanted to use the watches as a wristwatches, but they were mostly switching their pocket watches, strapping it up, putting in some other cases and using as a wristwatch. But the Cartier Santos was the first one designed intentionally as a wristwatch. So in 1904, Louis Cartier designed the first Santos watch for his friend Alberto Santos Dumont, an aviator who needed a timekeeper he could check on without taking his hands off from the controls while being on the aircraft. He was flying some early aircraft machines, which was before the planes did the way we know it. And Louis Cartier felt very gratified from this task and designed the first Santos watch with screws on it, a little gold square shaped watch for his friend. Since 1911, this watch appeared in the Paris boutiques as well. It was sort of a refined version of the watch that he designed for his friend before, and it was called merely Santos watch. You guys know that the tank watch is one of the most renowned and beloved model that Cartier produces up to date, right? Maybe because tons of celebrities out there are wearing it, and definitely the fact that Princess Diana was wearing it contributes to the fact and the fame of the model. But to be very honest, it has to be underlined here that Santos was there 50 years earlier than the tank was at all conceptualized and brought to life. So if you are searching for a real iconic watch from Cartier, Santos is it. Early Santos models were produced in partnership with La Coultre. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. And this partnership was necessary to produce these little wound movements that was necessary to make this watch function. Over the following decades, Cartier has created dozens, if not hundreds, of versions of the Santos watch, and each of them had followed the same core characteristics that I'm going to discuss later on in the video. However, it had adjustments and modifications which were crucial for the epoch or the fashion trends that was depicting the era. The latest issue of the Santos watch came out in 2018, bringing tons of functional adjustments and changes to the watch that I'm gonna present you in a bit as well. Before ending our little history tour, I think it's important to mention the bracelet, which is as recognizable as the watch itself when it comes to Santos watches. In 1978, the Cartier created what we think of as the first modern Santos. The watch was two-tone steel and yellow gold, with the polished yellow gold bezel and a new bracelet that echoed the screw motif of the bezel, only with the yellow gold screws punctuating the steel bracelet links. Santos has a robust history and fixed design codes. Doesn't matter from which epoch the Santos watch is, all of them have square dial, have Roman numerals, have square case. Some of them have this little window for dates at 6 o'clock, some of them don't, it depends on the size, but all of them have screws on the bezel. So itself, the crown guards and the bracelet came later, but all of the other, which I've mentioned before, are pretty standard for all the Santos watches out there. I personally very love the rigid, more sharper edges of the Santos and somewhat industrial look that it has because of the mix of metals and the screws on the bracelet and a mix of finishes, some places having more brushed stainless steel and some other having the chrome touch, which is attracting the scratches as well. And one has to underline this because if you are the person who wants to keep the watch intact and in pristine condition, maybe the Santos is not the watch for you because of the stainless steel that is brushed. It attracts like a magnet all the scratches via normal daily use, but it is also so timeless and elegant because of the sapphire and the Roman dial and the thin case that hugs your wrist. But this is the Santos until 2018. The newest reissue has brought so many functional cool elements like the smart link, which is a function that one can use while being at home and switching from the chain bracelet to the leather strap, which comes as well with this model. You can choose even between the colors, which is super cool concept. You don't need to go to the boutique or fuss with it when you want to have the leather strap on, or when the chain link is too long and you want to shorten it, you can do it very quickly and effectively at home. The new model as well stays truthful to the original silhouette. It still has a square dial. The crown is somewhat curvier and seamlessly links into the bracelet because it just goes a little bit down on the corners on both sides and attaches to the bracelets like harmoniously. And a lot of people love these curves and roundness about the new model, but to be very honest, I personally really love the sharpness of the 2015 Santos Galbee model, which I have over here. It's because it's my personal preference when it comes to like the corners and the edges to have more clear cuts and structure in them, but also because of the size. The newest model comes only with 35mm size of the crown, which is the medium size, and the 39mm crown, which is the large size. And for petite girls, or most of the females, in fact, in my opinion, the 35mm one can be a little bit too big on the wrist and a little bit too dominant. This one, which I have over here, is the 29mm one, has very thin case, as I mentioned earlier, and hugs the wrist so perfectly that I think it sits pretty elegant and very neat looking. I know a lot of girls out there are still rocking the new reissue, but as told, this is just my personal preference that I prefer the smaller watch on especially the petite bodies. I won't even pretend to know anything about the movements and won't start talking about something which I don't know. I will just sum it up in one sentence, saying that Cartier produces both automatic but also quartz powered watches. This one, which I have over here, is the quartz powered one. If you want to know more about the advantages and disadvantages of both models, because both have those, please check out the rest of the videos out there on YouTube. There are tons of professionals talking in depth, and you will be definitely getting all the information that you need. Lastly, that topic never really mattered for me because I was always seeing a watch as a part of the jewelry and not a functioning system itself. Cartier Santos is indeed an iconic model, and its design integrity, build quality and thoughtfulness of the model speaks for itself. What I have at hand here is the Cartier Santos Galbee 29mm crown, water resistant, quartz powered, with little window, date at 6 o'clock, hidden clasp, which makes one unbroken jewelry line on your wrist. It has two-toned both stainless steel and the 18-karat yellow gold on the crown, as well as integrated on the bracelet via little screws. Why I went for this watch? The answer is very simple. It is classic and elegant adds to the overall style. It feels and wears as a jewelry, which is an added bonus when it comes to Cartier vis-a-vis other watchmakers, in my opinion. It is thin and it is fineness and hugs the right ways on the wrist, wears very, very beautifully. It has also a little sapphire on the winding mechanism from the side, which is only visible to the wearer. It is not integrated on the bezel or on the dial like many other watch brands do, which is discreet and elegant and sophisticated at the same time. I really adore the screws on the bezel, which are also randomly turned in various directions, making it look more effortless, in my opinion. The entire watch speaks of the historic heritage of the jeweler that Cartier is. It is not seen and made as a simple object to wear, but as a companion for life, if one might say. I'm very, very glad that I went for Santos de Cartier, not for the Panthère de Cartier, which was another option that I was checking out closely. It was a lot more feminine, it had more like jewelry, like bracelets, but it's more newer add-on to the Cartier watch collection. This one I wear proudly and know that it was worthwhile every cent, because it is classic, elegant, and will stay timeless no matter how much time passes. On this note, I would like to end this video here. Thanks for watching, for taking your time. I hope you enjoyed watching it, that you learned a thing or two about the beautiful model that Cartier Santos watch is. If you liked it, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I would be very glad to see you on board. Also, let me know if there is anything else that you would love to see on this channel. I'm gonna try my best to film it for you. I say bye here, and I'm gonna see you in my next one.